This is what happens when you don't do a video for a long time. You get rusty. So anyway, beauty professionals, tonight I want to show you Halloween makeup or special effects makeup. Just something simple, cuts, bruises, and yeah. So what I have on my table set up is I have some scar wax. This is from My Sense. I got these from Amazon. But over the years I've worked with Ben Nye and Kryolan. So those are the two. This one actually works pretty good. I can't say I'm a fan of scar wax, and my reason personally I don't like scar wax is because it doesn't last long. No matter how you cleanse the skin, no matter if you use spirit gum, for me personally it never stays. It ends up lifting somehow. If blood gets in it, fake blood of course, gets in it and saturates it, it starts loosening up and lifting. That's my experience with scar wax, but I'm going to show you how to do cuts with it only because that's how you get the elevated look when you want your cuts or slashes to look more elevated and not flat. Now if you want them flat, that's when you can use collodion, or in some cases it's called rigid collodion, because the rigid collodion actually draws your skin in more than regular collodion. So that's when you want the flat scratches without any elevations. But you can use both, because you can do flat scratches and then do scar wax on the outer parts of them. I have a little bit of cotton, so when I do a blood clot, which I'm going to show you how to do that, Prozaid. Now this is not liquid latex, but it acts the same as liquid latex. Some people are allergic to latex, so I would suggest you use this. It also has a spray too to accelerate it, but I didn't buy that. I just brought this. And this is actually what I used for my zipper face. So if you want to try the zipper face yourself and you don't want to use liquid latex, this is actually an adhesive for the skin and it's medical grade, so it keeps it on there. I have a stipple sponge, so when you put blood on, fake blood I should specify, you can use the stipple sponge to give it a splash effect. And then I have some cut plastic because I'm going to do something on coal and make it look like there's glass in there. So there's that. I have fake blood. I think this one is not thin enough. I brought it pretty thick. It's called stage blood, but it's really kind of thick, but I'll make it work. Makeup sponges, alcohol wipes, so if I need to wipe something off. And then I have my bruise wheel. I think I showed you guys that already. I have some lipstick just in case I want to make one of my cuts intensified. So just remember this: when you want your cuts and bruises to look intense, you use a brighter red. And if you want it to look like an older cut, or like an older cut or open old wounds, like if you're doing zombie, you would do black first and then you do the fake blood over that, so it makes it appear like it's older blood because it's darker. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so in here I added some red lipstick before I add the rigid collodion. And so you can see how it looks, but then once I apply the rigid collodion or the collodion, then you should see it like starting to draw in. And you can actually add up to 10 layers of collodion, rigid collodion. Usually you don't need to do that, but the deeper you want your skin to be drawn in, then the more layers you use. And that's how you can tell when you're using a good one, because it'll really draw it in deeper. So you could do like the Harry Potter mark, and you would use the rigid collodion to make it draw in. An old surgery scar, anything. So that's one layer. We'll see how that looks. And then I can intensify by putting more makeup on top or adding some blood to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another layer of collodion to the blood. Let's see how that looks. And then you just let that dry. So what do you guys think? It feels pretty tight too. So this is the scar wax. And let's see, I don't think you need a lot. But first, let me cleanse this area here with alcohol, just to get the oils out. So I'm gonna do right in here. So like that. I'm going to spread out on both sides. And then what I'll do is I'll put some blood in there. So I can use my spatula and put some of the fake blood in there. So you can see that. And just kind of spread it on the outside. Now if I want to, I could make a blood clot. So we could say I cut past the second knuckle doing hair cutting, which is the most common area. And make sure I bruise up in here. So, something simple. Don't cut past the second knuckle. That's what we're always taught. All right, the next thing I want to show you is, I'm going to show you a cut on the wrist. So, let me take this off. And I'm going to show you what I mean by doing a flat cut and then elevating the outer parts of it with the scar wax. So first thing we're going to do is cleanse the area with alcohol. And now you could do soap and water, whatever's your choice, that'll kind of dry out the skin and sanitize it. So let's say I do it right in here. Or maybe I should do it in here. That's a good spot right there. All right. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. So I'm going to take my collodion. Now you see I had that cut there with the lipstick. And I'm just going to put that on there. Only because my skin naturally wrinkles there. So there's that. That's one layer. So you can see as it's drying, it's like starting to get that look, starting to look more real, right? And then what I'll do is I will take my spatula and I will add some blood to it, fake blood. Right? And then I can add another layer of collodion. So I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but yeah, it's looking pretty real to me. All right, and then I can put a little more blood on it. All right. Now I can stop there if I want to, but I think I'm going to put some wax around it just to make it look more elevated. So let's clean that off. Now some people might be sensitive to the rigid collodion. Some areas where you place it, it can be, can sting a little bit. So you just got to be careful. And also while I'm on that subject, if you want to remove these things, usually if you put oil on it, doesn't matter what kind of oil, really saturate it in and then wash it off, it should come right off. What I'm noticing too with this rigid collodion is I can take it and just kind of peel it off. So it's pretty easy. All right, so I'm gonna get some wax. And now just trying to thin it out. And I can put that on one side. And then I'll do another piece. Put some oil on it. Now I could use it on my fingers too to help spread it if I want. And that just helps to smooth it out. I may have to put a little more. Let's try a little more. It's kind of hard to function when your wrist has been cut, you know. So I'm gonna take that and kind of smash that down. And now remember what I said, you can use foundation to make it match. I'm just not gonna do that this time. And you see how it's kind of elevated there. So now what I can do is put some bruising on it, all right? Because that'll kind of help camouflage that. Right? And then I'm going to intensify it by using some darker, put a little blue in there. And now what I could do is add a layer of collodion around the edges. And let's see how that looks. Just around and make that look a little more realistic. And then I can do some blood. More blood in here. I could actually do a clot. This blood doesn't move much. That's the only thing. I gotta kind of work it out myself. So what do you guys think? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a blood clot in here. So basically, You take a little piece of cotton, you could even do smaller than this, and you drop it in. Let's see, I need more blood. See how thick that is? Yikes. I mean, in some ways it works good, but I should have brought both. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to keep harping on it. Okay, so now your cotton will expand and it becomes a clot. So I'm going to take a piece of that. All right, and I'm gonna, because I've been bleeding so much, so it's starting to clot up just a little bit. All right, so this is cold, and I'm gonna do something to him using the scar wax in here. Maybe make it look like he got hit with a glass bottle or something like that. We'll see. Of course, I don't have to cleanse his skin, but we'll just pretend like I'm cleansing it. Oh, and just so you guys know too, you need to have your client draped. It could be with a makeup drape, Sanic strip, and you can cover their clothing with something else if you like, but they should be draped. So let's clip his hair out of the way. All right, so Cole's not going to be too happy about this, but this is what we're doing. So I'm going to take some scar wax. Roll it in my hands. And let's see, I was thinking of cutting the middle of his head, but now I'm thinking about making his eye look swollen. Let's do that. Sometimes I like showing it on mannequins because they're a lot easier to work on. When you're teaching it, that is. When you're doing the real makeup, of course, it's fun. So this is what I'm doing to him so far. So you see how big his eyes are? I'm going to shrink it in. You could say he got injured somehow. I'll roll some more. I'll dip my spatula in some oil a little bit. So the only reason why you use the oil is just to help you manipulate the wax a little better. But it's a fine line. You don't want to do too much because then that can cause it to lift. And then, like I said, you could put it on your fingers too to kind of smooth it out. Right, so already, I don't know, you can see his eye is messed up. And then I'm going to do some bruise makeup. And I think in this case I'm going to use my fingers because it seems like the makeup sponges, they don't apply it the way I want to. And I'm going to use a little bit of blue. Blue can be very dominating, so you just want to be careful with that. And then I love to put yellow because that just shows the different phases of bruising. A little bit of green because that always makes it look like infection. And then come back. Alright, so let's fix that. And then, let me see, I need to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. That looks good so far. And then I'm going to put a little blood on here. Because remember now, he got hit with a bottle or he went through the windshield, one or the other. Poor baby. Alright, so what do you guys think so far? I think it's looking pretty bad. And then I'll take some plastic, which I actually used a little portion cup. You could use a plastic cup or whatever, and just stick it there in the wax. So a little one. Whoa. Oh, come on. Well, I guess that's a sign for no more. All right, so there we go, with the glass and the eyes. Tell me your thoughts on that in the comment section, and if you want to try that, there you go. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Stay tuned for next time. I'm going to show you how to do a quick weave. And then also I'm going to get started on highlighting, and then we'll get back to doing some theory. Thank you for your support. God bless you. Bye.